Tonight, it's my misfortune. The communal port in Bengal has been stirred again. This time, the capital city of Kolkata saw clashes between two communities, leaving behind a trail of destruction and lasting dread. The details of what triggered the clashes remain hotly contested, debated. One side says that it all began with an inebriated man allegedly ripping apart an Islamic flag on Saturday night. This was followed by a minor clash between two communities. After a lull of a few hours came the storm. Last night it rained bombs, bricks, bottles, videos doing the rounds on social media, not independently verified by Times Now, but certainly seen by our ground team, show a mob on rampage. The BJP alleges that this bamboo structure that you're going to see on your screens was a pandal put up for Lakshmi Puja. Men with sticks can be seen pulling down the bamboo structure and vandalizing the pandal. Another video shows flaming ball of fire. There you can see it. Massive flames razing shops and homes to the ground. Some men can be seen with bamboo and hockey sticks and wearing helmets. They rummage through the rubble as a huge fire blazes on. One doesn't know what they're trying to do by rummaging through the rubble there on the ground, the burnt embers, we don't know. Another video shows Ekbalpur police station surrounded by a mob holding flags. BJP alleges that on Mamata Banerjee's orders, now this is a claim that the BJP has made, the police were seen fleeing the station instead of controlling the mob. Now viewers, all of this, of course, has also been ironically denied by the TMC's Kunal Ghosh, who came out and said that this was not a communal clash at all. These were two clubs that basically fought each other on the streets. The police say that this was definitively a communal clash and that there is a lot of evidence to suggest that this communal clash has led to, of course, the destruction that we are being seeing on our screens, viewers. A lot of misinformation, as I said. The opposition alleges that the situation has completely spiraled out of control, and members of the opposition, the leader of the opposition in Bengal has written to the Union Home Minister to deploy central forces. Times Now traveled to Mominpur and got these glimpses of what really happened. We did some ground reports. Let's play out a couple of the ground reports.
পুরো সব আমার টিভি ঘর সব একদম নিয়ে গেছে স্যার हम लोग सर भागा भागी होने लगा हम लोग चले गए घर में ताला भी नहीं मारा ऐसे चिपकी मार के चले गए जान बचाने का
This is a taxi which was standing here on this very lane, which was completely vandalized. And if you walk in from that side, you would find bricks like this have been kept accumulated. There are also glass shards, beer bottles, a kind of a thing we have seen in the past as well. During such tension, you have people from the Hindu community on one side. You also have people from the Muslim community staying in this very same mixed neighborhood.
हम तो ड्यूटी में थे सर, जब ड्यूटी से आ रहे देख रहे दंगा हो रहा सर, यहाँ ईटा पत्थर चल रहा, इधर में मेरा घर टूट गया, बगल में घर टूट गया।
बहुत चीज नुकसान किया, कितना 4 टैक्सी तोड़ दिया।
The BJP has come out and said, viewers, that only one community was under attack. And the BJP went on to allege that there is a sense of distorted empowerment in a specific community under the TMC rule, which gives them a sense of entitlement and they act with impunity. Listen in.
Now, what I've written to the Prime Minister is that this should, more than seeing it as a communal incident, this is a part of a sort of distorted empowerment which leads to a certain form of swagger. It's a form of dadagiri which exists. And that dadagiri manifests itself in things like this.
এর পিছনে ভারতকে যারা ভাঙতে চায়, যারা কাশ্মীরে আজাদি চায়, সেই শক্তি আছে, তারা ফান্ডিং করেছে।
दंगा बोलना भी इसे गलत है। एक तरफा मार चल रहा था, वहाँ पे अनुसूचित जाति के लोग जो हिंदू वहाँ पे है उनके ऊपर आक्रमण चल रहा है और सारे टीएमसी ही करते थे। ऐसा नहीं कि बीजेपी के कार्यकर्ता है। पुलिस कभी टेबल के नीचे छुप रही थी, थाना पूरा हाईजैक हो गया था, थाना दखल कर लिया था दंगाइयों ने और पुलिस पूरी तरीके से हेल्पलेस दिख रही थी।
Police administration and this government, especially Honorable Chief Minister, takes law and order action with 30% or without 30%. The books have changed. The police rule book, I think, have changed. And when these dudhel guru that we say, the milking cows, when they create this kind of destruction, rampaging, we don't see police taking action.
Viewers, the TMC has hit back, rejecting all these charges that the BJP has made. Listen in.
Incident occurred that was unfortunate, but that kind of incidents in some area that can be between two clubs, two organizations. BJP is trying with their politics of vulture, because there may be a clash between two clubs. They are trying to project the issue in a particular their style with some religious color, and BJP should concentrate in their own states what is going on in UP, gang rape, murder.
But viewers, let's have a look at the record. Are mobs really empowered under Mamata Banerjee's administration? There have been, unfortunately, a number of incidents, mostly of a communal nature. 2013, the Canning riots, clashes after the murder of Maulvi Rahul Kudus. Outcome, 200 Hindu homes were razed. In January 2016, Malda riots, violent protests after alleged insult to Prophet. Outcome, police station attacked, homes and cars razed. March 2016, Ilam Bazar, violence, clashes after offensive FB post against the Prophet. Outcome, 1 killed, police station vandalized, etc., etc. There were several of these incidents, viewers, which will come up on your screens. These particular clashes have led many people to believe that there is a sort of impunity. The mobs feel empowered there, and all of this is costing the ordinary Bengali, the ordinary Indian, the ordinary local, call it what you want. Now, viewers, there have been, of course, incidents where the Calcutta High Court has pulled up the Mamata Banerjee government. I'm talking about 2017. The charge was that Mamata's government appeased one community over restrictions on Durga immersion festivities. The High Court said, why can't two communities celebrate together? Why are you creating communal distinction between the two? Let them both live together. So here was an attempt, viewers, to favor one community that the court took umbrage at. In 2021, the High Court, in the aftermath of the post-poll violence in 2021, flagged the inaction on part of the West Bengal police on the back of an NHRC report. And in my hand, viewers, are some statistics. And in these statistics, it is quite clear that the application of the law was very, very patchy. In 188, so there were total number of places visited by the NHRC team was 311. Out of this, in 188 places, no FIR was registered. So the grand total is about 60% of the cases saw no registration of FIRs. Number of victims or complainants who approached the teams, but their statements could not be recorded by the NHRC team due to the paucity of time, prior commitment, etc., 2,869 in total. Places where minimization and dilution of crime took place. So in 27% of the places, the minimization of the crime took place. Places where minimization, dilution of crime, exact number was 33. So do the maths, 27%, 33 viewers, is where the crimes were minimized. As I told you, there have been a spate of communal riots. So let's open this up. Let's ask some questions. Bishwadip Deb, spokesperson of the TMC, is with us. Sanju Verma, national spokesperson of the BJP, is with us. I want to begin with you first, Mr. Deb, and this is a question that I'm putting to you after the ground reports that we have been able to compile here for you. Mr. Kunal Ghosh has rejected that this was a communal clash, sir. He has said that this was not a communal clash. You've just heard him also speak. I'm sure you heard that. He said the incident is unfortunate. It could be a clash between two groups or clubs, but it's nothing communal. BJP is trying to give it a religious spin for their political gains. Sir, I want to ask you, why would religious areas or those that had some sanctity to one community be vandalized? Why would only the homes of a specific community be vandalized? And most importantly, when the police themselves are saying that this was a communal incident, why are you trying to project it otherwise? Are you trying to sort of, I don't know, insulate one particular community, in this case, the community that seems to have had the upper hand? Is that what you're saying?
The question doesn't arise. You see, any incident of violence is very much unfortunate. And TMC government does not support any violence. And under the rule of Mamata Banerjee in West Bengal, you will never find that the communal harmony has been disturbed. But in fact, we will see that since 2014, there has been a steep rise in communal incidents, in communal violence, in various BJP ruled states, and the rise is almost 28%. And especially if you see that since the time the price rise and the inflation, this particular government has been indulging in all these communal violence, and BJP has been indulging in communal violence, banking on communal politics just to divert the attention of the people from the price rise and from inflation. So you see, our leader, our General Secretary, All India General Secretary, Sri Abhishek Banerjee, has said that some people will say Hindus are in danger, some people will say Muslims are in danger, but you look properly and you will see that the entire country is in danger. BJP bangs in communal politics. Everyone knows that communal politics is the only trump card of BJP.
No, but
and you will see that in BJP ruled states, Maharashtra,
why did
Madhya
Mr.
Pradesh,
Deb,
Uttar
why
Pradesh,
did Mr. Deb,
Karnataka,
okay,
all these.
Why did Mr. Deb?
Please, Mr. Rahul, let me, please, Mr. Shivashankar, let me complete. In all these 5 BJP ruled states, 64% of the communal violence and communal incidents of communal violence has been reported from these 5 BJP ruled states. 64%. So you see, gang rapes are happening in Uttar Pradesh. For only 14th of September,
Mr. Deb, one second. Mr. Dev, let's not talk about other states. Let's restrict ourselves to West Bengal. The debate is about West Bengal. And I want to ask you, one second. I want to ask you, one second. Mr. Dev, 1 minute. Mr. Dev, let's not get, okay, 1 second.
We must point out exactly what is happening in the BJP ruled states.
One second.
No,
I only asked a question. I only asked a question, but it seems that you're giving us...
the time of Christmas.
Sir, one second. Let's not fly off the handle. Relax, calm down. It's easy to divert attention, pick at other straws, etc. Let's stick to the facts on the ground. I'm only asking you. One second. Mr. Dev, let me finish my question. Let me finish my question.
You will see all
Are we going to have a debate and a question answer, or are we going to have a monologue?
Respected in Bengal under the rule of Mamata Banerjee.
Okay. So let's then put that to test. I will bring you in, Mr. Verma. Ms. Verma, just give me 30 seconds here. Mr. Dev, a couple of things. If everything is happening according to the rule of law, why did the High Court pull up your government on 2 separate incidents? I want to understand that. Can you explain?
Please mention those incidents.
I have.
Please mention those
Kolkata
incidents.
High Court in 2017, when the charge was that one community was appeased by bringing about restrictions on Durga immersion, festivities, the High Court said directly to your government, why can't 2 communities celebrate together? Why are you creating communal distinctions between the 2? Let them both live together, unquote. These are the words of the esteemed High Court of Calcutta. One second. Then in 2021...
I hope...
No, let me finish. Let me finish.
The Honorable High Court has seen.
Let me finish.
Now the Honorable High Court has seen, has witnessed how Durga Pooja is celebrated in West Bengal under the rule of Mamata Banerjee. How we got the UNESCO award and how the carnival... So many pujas have participated.
So you're not denying. You're not denying that the High Court pulled you up.
I hope the Honorable High Court.
So you're not denying.
How
that is for you to convince.
How puja.
So that is for you to convince the High Court.
All religious festivals.
That is for you to convince the High Court. In 2021, viewers.
Celebrated.
Okay. In 2021,
under the rule of Mamata Banerjee.
Okay. In 2021, since you asked me to elaborate, the High Court, in the aftermath of the post-poll violence in 2021 May, flagged the inaction on part of West Bengal police on the back of an NHRC report. So the report was analyzed, viewers. The High Court looked into it, and it pointed out that there were large-scale omissions, i.e. action was not taken. Now we are being told that, of course, we are following the book. I'm only quoting the High Court, sir. You can go up and appeal to the Supreme Court, get these orders reversed, these observations removed. I don't know.
I know.
Oh my God.
I am well aware of the observations of the High Court.
Well, there you are. You asked me to explain them.
In most of the incidents, CBI could not even register an FIR.
Okay. So the High Court is lying.
Could not even register an FIR.
So the High Court is lying.
Team
so was the High Court lying?
I'm not saying that.
Well, then let's not go there. I'll invoke what the High Court has said. If you believe,
don't try to
Mr. Dev, if you believe that the High Court,
what the High Court has said.
If the High Court was wrong,
very well what the High Court has said, Mr. Shivashankar.
Okay.
I know what the High Court has said. But tell me one thing, in how many of the allegations CBI could finally register an FIR?
All I am saying is...
I want to answer that.
1 second.
You know very well.
Let the BJP... 1 second. I'll bring the BJP in.
Most of the members of this NHRC team.
This man is going on and on and on.
Calm down.
To BJP.
Yeah. Okay.
Most of the members.
Okay. So now let me tell you, viewers, I was asked...
Yes,
to point out, okay, Mr. Dev, I was asked to point out by Mr. Dev 2 instances or more where the courts have taken a dim view. I did. You heard his response. Let me get in Sanju Verma. Sanju Verma, would you like to respond to Biswajit Dev?
Okay. And I hope Mr. Dev doesn't heckle me because I listened very patiently to what he had to say. Albeit he made very little sense, but that's besides the point. The limited point is this, Rahul. Be it the Malda Kaliachak riots of 2016, as you rightly said in the introduction, be it the Bashirhat Bhaduria riots of 2017, be it the Asansol riots of 2018, be it the Jadavpur riots of 2019, be it the Bhadreshwar riots of 2020, or be it the Sitakulchi riots of 2021. Each of these riots was a communal violence-related incident which then spiraled out of control. And I think what happened on Sunday evening in Ekbalpur and Mominpur area before spiraling out of control and spread to Mayurbhanj, Khidirpur, you know, it has an eerie resemblance to what happened in Asansol. You know, exactly like this. There was a Ram Navami incident that time. Yesterday evening, it was a Lakshmi Puja Pandal that was vandalized and desecrated. In Asansol, Hindu families had to flee. And if your reporters are to be believed, I've been watching your channel since afternoon. You know, people have fled the scene from Khidirpur, Mayurbhanj areas, because just like what happened in Asansol, Bashirhat, Bhaduria, you know, it was played out encore. There was an encore yesterday evening when the police station and the policemen standing outside the police station in Ekbalpur and Mominpur areas were mute spectators, thereby abetting, encouraging what was happening in terms of sheer vandalization, not only of the Puja Pandal, but of Hindu sentiments. And I'll just tell you one more thing. You know, Mr. Dey of TMC, he said, you know, the law and order situation has been excellent. Mamata Banerjee is holier than thou when it comes to being a true secularity. As, you know...
no, but he asked you a question, Ms. Verma. He also did ask you a question. The CBI took over some of these cases. But according to him, the CBI has not been able to register any substantive cases. And you said you would answer. So could you please?
I'm coming to that, Rahul. He had a long say. I came into the debate almost, you know, after 20 minutes. Okay. Please indulge me for 30 seconds. I will answer that. But before that, Mr. Dey needs to know what the Kolkata High Court said after the post-war violence. Please remember, Mamata Banerjee repeatedly denied post-war violence in 2021 and said that it's a figment of BJP's imagination. And, you know, I just want to put the record straight. Before handing over the case to the CBI, much against Mamata Banerjee's wishes, the CBI said, in order to have fair, pardon me, not the CBI, the Kolkata High Court said, in order to have fair investigation in the matter, and to instill confidence in the family members of the victim and the residents of the locality and the state of Bengal, it is hereby decided that the investigation should be carried out by the CBI instead of the local police. Because
so that brings me to the question.
There have been many lapses.
Okay, so the CBI...
Rahul, he had such a lengthy say.
No,
Let me
that's
please
okay.
finish.
One second. You said that you would come to the CBI part. The fact that the CBI, Mr. Deb says, fine, I've established that. I even brought this fact out.
Can I just rebut him in 30 seconds his allegation
please.
That the CBI has not been able to do its job?
Okay.
First and foremost, Mr. Dey needs to know how the law of the land functions. The CBI, I think, has done a phenomenal job. That is precisely the reason that much against Mamata Banerjee's wishes, post-poll Bengal violence, please let me finish, post-poll Bengal violence case was handed over to CBI. The SSC stand, after which Partha Chatterjee was arrested, that was handed over to CBI.
And how the law functions.
Mr. Deb, she didn't interrupt you, Mr. Deb. That's not fair. She kept quiet. So let her finish. Please, let's have some order. Please, it's already a very charged, supercharged situation there on the ground. Let's not add to it, please.
Yes.
Yes.
So I'll not take too long. You know, so maintaining law and order as per the 7th schedule of the Constitution is the duty of the Chief Minister, and in this case, Mamata Banerjee is also the Home Minister. So please don't blame the CBI. The CBI actually is doing a phenomenal job, and I'll tell you why. You did not want the Hansakhali gang rape case where a Trinamool corporator was involved to be handed to the CBI. What did the Kolkata High Court do? It handed the Hansakhali gang rape case to the CBI. You did not want the post-war violence case in Bengal to be handed over to the CBI. What did the Kolkata High Court do? It handed that case to the CBI. You did not want the Birbhum violence case in which 12 people were charged to death
to be
handed to the CBI. But the Kolkata High Court
handed the CBI eventually
to the CBI.
What did the CBI eventually do?
And what did the CBI eventually do? Because of a thorough investigation, Rahul, today you have Anubratta Mandal behind bars. Today you have Devjani Mukherjee behind bars. Today you have Shatabdi Roy, who has turned a hostile witness thanks to a thorough investigation by the CBI. Today you have people involved in the Birbhum violence behind bars. Had it not been for the CBI, these people would be roaming scot-free.
Okay, one second. We've heard the politicians' viewers.
Hindu phobia.
Okay, Hindu phobia is the charge. Okay,
just let me.
Very quick.
Just let me give a rebuttal. 30 seconds. I will give a rebuttal. Just give me 30 seconds. You see, we have seen how the central agencies, CBI, ED, SFIO, all these central agencies are being blatantly used against all the opposition
that's not on. We are not on that point. We can have a separate debate on the independence of these agencies at another time. That's another debate for another day. The courts have stepped in and allowed these agencies, good, bad, the ugly, to investigate. So that's a different question. Please, no, one second, Mr. Deb. If that was the case, then why did you get rid of Mr. Partha? No, if that was the case, why did you get rid of Mr. Partha? No, one second, Mr. Dev. If that was the case, why did you get rid of Mr. Partha? Okay, I don't want to get into a shouting match. I'll lose my voice. Okay, one second. Dr. Ranganathan, let me bring him in. You see, let me tell you something. And this is very important, Mr. Ranganathan, Dr. Ranganathan, now that you're here with us. Look, this is an issue between the courts, the investigative agencies, and the state government. But it is interesting to note that at every point, what was contested, what was opposed, was overruled. Now, we can argue that the CBI has taken its own sweet time to form, to frame charges, this, that, the other. That's a separate debate. But we are talking about an issue which is slightly larger and goes beyond the immediate here. What are we talking about? This culture of mobs being empowered more than the Manush. Let me tell you, the Supreme Court in July 2018 about the Panchayat polls, Dr. Ranganathan, I don't know if you remember that. There was such a fear that a large number of seats were going uncontested because of political violence, the fear of violence, state repression, etc. The Supreme Court had to step in. And that's why we are debating tonight the fact that mobs or organized groups are empowered in this state beyond what is tolerable. Is that thesis valid, Dr. Ranganathan?
Good evening, Rahul. Yes, it very much is. And first of all, the communal violence in Kolkata is wholly condemnable and perpetrators must be punished. But Rahul, the sight of the overrun police station, as you showed, brings little comfort. What also brings little comfort is the boast of TMC's own Fareed Hakim recently, that this area where the violence has happened is quote-unquote mini Pakistan, as though this was something to be proud of. But then it was TMC Sheikh Alam who had boasted very recently that 4 Pakistans can be created if 30% Muslims come together. Rahul, the signs are, I am afraid, increasingly ominous. You remember the recent horrible violence in Havda in response to Nupur Sharma? How long before the slogans equivalent to Raliv, Saliv, Galiv are heard in Kolkata like they were in Kashmir 30 years ago? Violence in Bengal has been given a free run, both by the government there and much of the media. Rahul, the signs were all there and they go as far back as 2018. You the Bengal Panchayat elections. 20,076 seats in the Panchayat polls went uncontested. That is 34% of total seats. Remember the 2019 Diamond Harbour violence that led Hindu families to flee? Fast forward to 2022 and the recent severe indictment of the West Bengal government.
Say something about Tripura.
Let him speak, Mr. Dev. He never interrupted you. Let's not be unruly. Please. Yes, Dr. Ranganathan, finish. Yeah.
Thank you. As I was saying, when you fast forward to 2022, after ignoring all those previous instances, the recent severe indictment of the West Bengal government by the Calcutta High Court should have shamed the TMC and its Albert Spears. But nothing happened. The fact that the court noted the police had not registered the FIR in 60% of the cases was troubling beyond measure. In para after para, sentence after sentence, the court had blasted the Bengal government. The court can no longer be a mute spectator, it said. Remember, Blood-curdling affidavits by victims of Bengal violence were ignored by those who claim they speak truth to power. Media was scared. Judges were recusing. And those human rights activists and the Roys and the Seetalwads, they wake up only when victims are not Hindu women. The journalists and activists keep saying, we speak truth to power. We speak truth to power. But in reality, they speak truth only to Modi. Not when those in power are Mamata. They dismiss the gut-wrenching violence and mass exodus and retribution as orchestrated by the fascist BJP. But multiple instances of violent attacks and murder were also reported by the CPIM Congress. And the Congress panelist is here, please ask him. So the BJP was colluding with the Congress and the communists now? Sitaram Yechuri and Mr. Chaudhary are Sanghis? That's why I call them, Rahul, children of Goebbels. Because it was Goebbels who said, the first rule of propaganda is to accuse the other of what you are guilty of.
Well, viewers, remember, I always bring in the fact check on this show. Why? Because I want you to be closer to the truth. My vested interest is that you're better informed. And we have just done a quick cross-check on the number of cases the CBI filed. Now, viewers, Siddharth Talia, the head of research of Times Now, has dug this out. This is the CBI spokesperson, R.C. Joshi. And this is with regards to the post-poll violence matter, January of 2022. And as of January 2022, when the last update came, which is about 9 months ago, this is the status. We're trying to get you fresh updates. The CBI has registered the cases meeting only these criteria which are under progress. As on January 1st, 2022, CBI has registered 51 cases, has filed charge sheets in 20 cases in about 4 months. Over 100 persons have been charge sheeted. Now remember, viewers, the base statistic, where 66% of the cases, there was not even an FIR registered. Look where we have come. He asserted that no case meeting the criteria laid down by the High Court of Calcutta and referred by the NHRC has been closed. Very important. Insofar as 29 complaints of sexual offences referred by NHRC, CBI has registered 7 regular cases and rest have been and are being legally processed. We're going to try and update this figure for you. It's been 9 months, viewers. We're going to try and update that. But I want to bring in Muhammad Zishan. Muhammad Zishan, it's quite clear that had the High Court not intervened, had the CBI not stepped in, we would not have had these cases registered. Therefore, the charge or the question I am going to repose, Muhammad Zishan. Is there a feeling that one particular community or mobs that suit or extend perhaps or somehow melt into the agenda that is most suitable are given a feeling that they're above the law? The words that the BJP has used, viewers, is a word called empowered. That these mobs feel empowered. That is what the BJP has said. In fact, you heard Swapan Das Gupta, he used the term distorted sense of empowerment. So, Mr. Zishan, given all these facts, would you say that the government is guilty of creating a sense of distorted empowerment?
We saw how mobs are empowered by Suvendu Adhikari, how mobs are empowered by Shukanto Majumdar. We saw how the assistant commissioner.
There are people on the ground. There are people on the ground who are saying that the police disappeared, that there are no-go zones.
We have witnessed that. One more thing, Rahul.
So where was the police? How come the police? No, one second.
You have asked me a question.
Zishan, you're not answering my question because you didn't hear it. You started speaking.
I'm coming to the point. Let me be pointed. I'm coming to the point.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me allow. I'm coming to the point. And while discussing all these things, you have mentioned NHRC several times and post-poll violence after the assembly elections in Bengal. I would like to make you all remember that NHRC report and the members who were responsible to make that report, I will just take 2 names, Raju Balan Desai and Atif Rashid. Times Now, you have your experts, just do a background check on these 2 persons. Who was Atif Rashid? He was one.
So are you saying that the High Court of the land, The High Court of the land. No, one second. Are you saying the High Court? No, one second now. Mohammed Zishan, you are very close to being. No, you're very close to being. No, 1 second. You're very close to being held up. No, 1 second. Should I listen to Mohammed? No, 1 second. Should I listen to Mohammed Zishan or the High Court?
Court will decide, the viewers will decide.
1 second. 1 second. Here it is. Viewers,
not at all telling the report.
here is an attempt being made by Mohammed Zishan to prove that the High Court is in collusion with the NHRC. This is what it's come to in this country.
Rahul,
this is what it's come to in this country.
I'm just telling you, I'm bringing the facts.
No, so do you think that the High Court would not have known? Would you think that the High Court would not have known this? I'm asking you, would you think that the High Court would not have known?
Don't you find other members to make a report?
Okay. Now, viewers, this point has been addressed by the High Court. They're not going to let me speak. Mohammed Zishan is not going to let me speak, so I'm going to lower his fader because he's going to be fact-checked right here on this show. I never come unprepared. And Siddharth Talyan is going to tell us, by giving me these facts, the NHRC, viewers, was accused by the state government of having bias. The court said that this was just an attempt to misdirect and delay the issue after the state government was caught on the wrong foot. Clause 67 of the judgment. Zishan today is saying that the NHRC panel was biased. He says you just have to look at the facts and look at the two people appointed who were, according to him, biased. The High Court has looked at this, viewers, and let me read out what it said in its own judgment, clause 67. Mohammed Zishan once again questioning the integrity of the High Court, suggesting that the High Court, viewers, overlooked this very important point. He's in total contempt right now, total contempt, and I'm going to bring him back on this show after I read this paragraph, hoping that he will set the record right and take back his ill-informed, mischievous words where he is trying to call out the High Court. Here, viewers, though the issue of bias of 3 members of the committee was sought to be raised, the argument just needs to be noticed and rejected. In fact, the entire effort seems to be to misdirect the issue and delay the proceedings. It seems to be an argument in frustration, where on the core issue the state has been found on a wrong foot. This court had directed constitution of the committee. The committee, viewers, was formed at the behest of the court.
Brilliant fact.
The members were nominated by the chairperson of the NHRC on June 21, 2021. No objection was raised by anyone. No objection. But Mohammed Zishan tonight, viewers, is trying to allege very, very mischievously that the committee of the NHRC was biased.
Shocking.
I'm going to continue. People like this, viewers, who get away with this kind of stuff on any other channel, will not get away here on Times Now. They are in contempt right now. Hopefully, Mr. Mohammed Zishan will come out and say that he didn't mean quite what he said. He got carried away. Now, let me finish. No objection was raised by anyone. An application was filed by the state for recalling of the order dated June 18, 2021. What was that order, June 18, 2021? This was the court directing the constitution of the committee. That was the order. Viewers, the application was dismissed 3 days later on June 21st, 2021, but no such argument was raised. It was not raised even when the committee started working on the field. The committee filed an interim report in court on June 30th, 2021. The order was passed by the court. No issue was raised. The same was sought to be raised only when final report was filed and it revealed the conduct of the state, and the pleas raised by the state were found to be false. Mohammed Zishan, would you like to take back? You can't hear me. Now he says he can't hear me. Viewers, this is standard practice. This works on every other news channel where the anchors are not prepared. 1 second, madam. Where the anchors are not prepared, where there are agendas. This is not a Lutyens channel. This is not a channel that doesn't believe in speaking truth to power. My next debate will speak directly to the central government. But I'll come to that, viewers.
Fantastic.
Now, 1 minute. Now, 1 second. I want to also tell you, viewers, that the number of CBI cases, the charge sheets that were filed has also increased. The latest figures by May 2022 stand at 58. So, viewers, I told you that there were a number of cases that were registered. That number has grown. Now, viewers, this was the majority view, the High Court. There was another judge who did say that some comments made by the committee could be avoided, but this was the majority view. Viewers, here it is. And I want to now bring in Mr. Chaudhary, because Mohammad Zishan has conveniently developed a hearing problem. So let me bring in Mr. Chaudhary. Mr. Chaudhary, I want to ask you, you talk about political polarization, the politics of Hindutva, this, that, the other. You might be right, sir. But I want to ask you, how can your political party, when it comes to Bengal, take a position when you yourself shared the stage with a sectarian group like the ISF? You were in a coalition with the left, the ISF. How did that happen? You know the views of the ISF. You know who leads the ISF, the Pulwara Sharif Imam. And you know what he has said. You know the communal hate monger he was. Your political party's representatives, senior leaders, general secretaries said this is a very wrong step that has been taken. Is it not true, sir, or should I now start reading out the statements that were made by people like Anand Sharma on the tie-up with the ISF in Bengal? What were you doing tying up with a sectarian organization? What were you doing in Assam, going against what Mr. Gogoi said, sir, your home state, about tying up with the AIUDF? Why were you doing this, sir?
Can I reply?
Please.
Okay, the first and foremost, Bengal and Assam are two different chapters. You know, let me speak about first out here.
Right.
First and foremost, Rahul, you must be reminded that in 2021, we had an alliance with the Left Front.
Right.
And DSF was a constituent of the Left Front, not of the Congress Party, for your correction.
Right.
Anyhow, that will be debated because it's already stated fact. He shared the stage in the Maidan, but does not mean that we had an electoral alliance with ISF. That's the first number point. Second is, we had an alliance with AIUDF. We did not have an alliance with, like BJP had with PDP, who said about talks about Azad Kashmir and separating Kashmir from India. We had a party, we had an alliance with a party which was registered with the Election Commission of India. That alliance is no longer there in Assam. So it's out of question that...
Chaudhary, listen, don't again spread fake news. Let me tell you. No, March 1, 2021. This was 2 months before the elections. Viewers, listen to this. Senior Congress leader Anand Sharma on Monday slammed the Congress's tie-up with Indian Secular Front ISF, led by Muslim cleric Abbas Siddiqui in West Bengal, saying it was against the party's core ideology and Gandhian and Nehruvian secularism. Mr. Chaudhary, you are on the stand tonight, and I am today the public prosecutor, and I'm asking you, sir, why are you misleading the public here in India? Why were you tying up with communal organizations that had nothing in common with your core ideology, Gandhian and Nehruvian secularism? What were you trying to do in Bengal? Answer.
We had an alliance with the Left Front. Left Front allotted us 92 seats out of the 293 seats. They allotted an X number of seats to the ISF.
So Anand Sharma was lying?
Had an electoral
Anand Sharma was lying? A senior leader of your party was lying? Was he lying?
About district, let me just remind you, I am from the grassroots, Rahul. You need to visit here. We do not have any electoral.
Was he lying?
Right now.
Was he lying?
Congress
so he was lying.
So
Anand Sharma was lying.
I don't quote Anand Sharma ji.
I am quoting him.
Senior leader to us. But
so if he's such a senior leader, why would he be giving you a lecture on morality?
In
Look,
West Bengal,
you can't have it. No, you can't bake your cake and eat it too, sir. I'm sorry, it doesn't quite work that way. Come with your facts. Don't look like a deer caught in the headlights, please. And don't start backpedaling. I have exposed everybody. Some people have developed a hearing problem on the show in the course of it. I'm sorry, maybe my voice grates. Viewers, I'm terribly sorry about that. I didn't mean to offend anybody. If they've developed deafness, I hope you haven't, because you need to hear the facts. One very quick, Dr. Ranganathan, I just want to bring you in, because I don't want to go down the political rabbit hole, and I need to move on to the next story, which is a very significant story. Dr. Ranganathan, what do you make tonight of what you're hearing?
No, Rahul, very briefly, the hypocrisy of so many people on this panel is astounding. And my friend Mr. Chaudhary, he is on record along with Sachin Pilot and other Congress people on the dais. They criticize the TMC for being responsible for the post-poll Bengal violence. Today he is silent. So this is what I mean. I think at the altar of political expediency, everything is sacrificed. And that is the tragedy of this country. That is why this kind of cry that we speak truth to power is as hollow as a termite-infested bark of a tree.
Rahul, can I quickly come in, please?
Well, I've run out of time.
Seconds.
No. I've run out of time. I told you I'm not taking any of the political views now. I'm moving on to the next story. Viewers,